Well, here's a sneak peek at the new hot tent. It's not quite finished yet. Stove jack needs to be put here at the front, and I'm waiting for a zipper to come by courier. It's 6 feet long, so that'll need to be installed. Other than that, I just need to put a couple loops at the bottom to secure it a little better, but this is the basic design. So I'm just using some scraps from the plastic coated canvas to make up these little loops that are going to be used to hold the stakes. Very, very strong. I tried to rip the plastic coated canvas just with my hands with one layer, and I couldn't do it. This is actually 3 layers sewed over top of each other, so very strong, and they will get triple stitched. Well, it's not pretty, but it's not going anywhere. So in addition to the corner loops to stake the tent down, I've also put loops all the way along the bottom. So there's actually a total of 5, including the corners, 1 on each corner, 1 halfway, and then 2 halfway in between those. All right, so since I've got the tent up in the sunroom and there's no wind or anything here, I'm going to waterproof it quickly and give it a nice coat. I've got some windows open where I am here for some ventilation, and I'm going to spray it and then let it dry here overnight. So. Well, I went to get the mail today, and thankfully my zipper was in there, so I am just getting ready to pin it. I just took the scissors and cut the rest of the way up. I hadn't cut the whole seam because I didn't want it to fray, so I zigzagged this whole thing twice just to make sure it's not going to fray. And now I'm going to pin the zipper to the canvas on each side. I'd say right sides together, but this is a 2-sided zipper, so it doesn't really matter which side is which. So I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew it. Okay, so I've got the material as flat as I can get it, and just start at the top here and just pin it down. Okay, so when it's finished, it will flip like this. Ouch! Those pins there, that'll go a little bit more inside. Might have to cut that a bit. So there you can see. Just leave it a little bit of the zipper exposed. I don't want it hidden. I don't want it to get caught in the tent. It's got some coverage, so that's nice. It'll come up with this. See? You're supposed to actually use a special foot for this, a zipper foot. All of my accessories for my sewing machine are still in storage. I managed to get my sewing machine out. It was on the top of one of the skids, but I couldn't find the presser foot, zipper foot, so it seems to work okay without it. Okay, so the one side of the zipper has been sewn in, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's basically going to get flipped over. So, half done. Now it has a zipper. Quite happy about it. So today I am working on a little cover for the zipper. Just taken an extra piece of canvas that I had, and I have cut it to a certain width here that I thought was suitable. And what I'm going to do is attach it on this side of the zipper, and then that way it'll lay over top of the zipper if there's bad weather. I'll be putting the top will be attached here and then here, just above the zipper, about 2 inches above it, so that it gives this flap some direction on where to go. And then I'll see if it stays. If it doesn't, I might put a few little pieces of Velcro here just to keep it shut when, you know, it's windy or whatever. This will help to protect the zipper and keep it from getting snow or ice on it and freezing. So this is going to be waterproofed very well, very heavily, and hopefully that will keep the zipper protected. Alright, so I have the piece of material that's going over the zipper all pinned on now. I folded over the sides and made a nice straight stitch along it, so it's nice and straight. And now I'm going to go back over that stitch and attach it to the actual tent. And I'm going to stop just short of this area here. I have a green piece of material that's ready to add on to it, but I want to make sure that I have it lined up perfectly, so I'm going to wait until this is down and just stop around here, and that way I can add the green exactly where it needs to be so it lines up perfectly. Okay, well, after sewing the zipper flap on, I have now sewed the green piece to the bottom of it, and I have pinned it to the tent. So now it opens all the way up. Okay, so I've now put the little pieces of Velcro in. It's very hard to keep them from sticking to each other because that's what they do. But I put them every 10 inches or so. So they run all the way up the zipper flap. And that should help keep it shut. So I'm just sewing on all these little Velcro patches to keep the zipper fly shut. Alright, well, I have finished the little fly, I guess, zipper fly, and it looks really good. The Velcro is holding it down nicely, and my zipper is protected. Hey! I am cutting up the panels for the stove jack. I got a welding blanket that was 4x6, and I really only need one panel for the tent. Most of the stove jacks I've seen online sell at the size of 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet. So I'm cutting these into 2x2 squares, and I'm going to keep 2 of them for myself, and then I've offered to sell off a couple of the squares to some people that I know that are making hot tents as well, just to make my money back, not making any money off of it. So what I did was I used some masking tape, and I taped where I'm going to be cutting because I heard that this material frays really, really badly. So I've put the tape on either side, and then I'm just cutting right up the middle. Okay, so what I did was I drew a line here. I have to cut this off. I really want to use this seam, but there's a grommet here, and that's going to make a hole where the stove jack goes. So unfortunately I can't use that piece. So I'm going to cut this off. So I just did a zigzag seam stitch all the way along the very edge so that I can cut it, and did the same thing on the outer edge of this. This is going to get folded over twice, that way it won't fray, but I had to zigzag it first just so I could cut it because it frays that easily. When I picked up the welding blanket to use for the stove jack, I also picked up this. This is a Gasket Maker, and it's a high temperature gasket sealant. And what that's going to be used for is to put in the circle that I cut out for the stove pipe, and that will keep that from fraying. So I have quite a bit of canvas left over, which I'm happy about. I also have canvas left over from the last project. So this piece is going to get sewn. It's actually already has two edges how it came, which is nice. And I'm just going to cut and sew this raw edge here and one other side to make the flap that will go over the stove jack, so that when the stove isn't in use, this can cover up that hole. Hey, well, I am patiently waiting for my stove. It's about 3 days late now. Canada Post isn't quite sure where it is, but hoping it comes soon. In the meantime, I have to try to do as much as I can because I'd like to take the hot tin out this weekend, and I'm running out of time. The last thing I need to do is install the stove jack, and I can't do that without the stove because I need to measure where the pipe's going to come out and put this on the tent accordingly. I also need to still cut the hole for the pipe to go through this and apply the gasket sealant. But again, I can't do that until I know where the pipe is going to exit the tent and the size of the pipe at that location. So for now, the stove jack is complete as much as I can do it. I've just sewn around the edges and got that all ready. And what I did was I made a flap to go over the stove jack. So this will get affixed to the tent. The top seam will get sewn right to the tent. You can see here I have 3 pieces of Velcro on the front. I also have a strip of Velcro down the side of each side of the flap. What I will do when I know where this is going is I will put the corresponding Velcro piece on the tent, and then that will keep this down, and this will keep this nice and secure and cover up that hole when I'm not using the stove. I will, of course, be using the stove most of the time in the hot tent. That's the purpose of me making it. So when I do that, this will get rolled up, and it will just, the Velcro little pieces that I've attached here will just stick like that, and it'll stay up. So that's as much as I can do until my stove arrives, and now I'm just patiently waiting. Well, I finally decided on a location for the logo. I had a cinch bag that I ordered from Vistaprint. It was actually a very poor quality, so I've never actually used the bag, and I've just kept it around with the logo on it in case I needed a logo for something. So it's gonna go on the tent now. Hey, well, I'm outside setting up the tent quickly. We've got a storm rolling in. It's pretty windy out, but I'm in a really sheltered area. I set up the tent here right behind the house. Not the most scenic, doesn't look like I'm in the forest, but this is the smartest place to do it because the wind is not blowing here, even though it's blowing quite a bit out there. Zipper in full effect. Like that. I'm super excited because I finally got my stove. It's been, uh-oh, it says 2 of 2. I hope that's an old marker. All right. Thank you guys for my buff. I love it. I can't wait to wear it. Actually, I'm gonna wear it right now. The north. Here we go. All right. So the stove has been used before. Just once. I was advised that I either had to wait until December 15th to get my stove till the next shipment came in, or I could take this stove that was used once, and I definitely opted for the stove that's been used once. This way I don't have to burn it, so that just works better for me. So here she is. This cardboard. Oh, it's such a pretty color. Right. Ta-da! Ba-dum-bum-bum. I'm not sure which piece goes where, so I'll figure this out and I'll get back to you.